Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly political program on Lagos Television. I am Ajibola Ojashola, welcoming you to the program. We all know the major topic of discussion in the polity as we speak is the proposed nationwide protest, which is slated for the 1st of August 2024. And it's been back and forth between government and the organizers of these protests, slated for the 1st of August 2024. Like I rightly said, people are actually complaining that the cost of living in Nigeria is quite high, and Nigerians are barely surviving as we speak. Although government has been appealing, taking some steps to assuage the sufferings of Nigerians, but as we speak right now, the organizers of the protests are still insisting on going ahead with the protest. So which way do we go as a society from here? That's our topic for the discussion tonight on the program. But before we go into our discussion on the program tonight, we'll take a very short break on the program to bring you some of the trending news in the polity. We'll be right back. You are still on to our weekly political program on Lagos Television, the Pendulum. I did say before that break that we'll be looking at the proposed nationwide protest slated for the 1st of August 2024. And the hashtag now is End Bad Governance in Nigeria. And of course, government is appealing, begging that people need to show some understanding, give government more time to impact our lives, whether they are going to listen or not before the 1st of August is another kettle of fish. Joining us this evening to look at this topic of discussion is Comrade Raman Balogun, Chairman, Association of Senior Civil Servants, Lagos State Chapter, and of course is equally the Chairman, Lagos State Joint Negotiation Council Trade Union side. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, so right from my intro, I did say that the cost of living is quite high in the country, whether we like it or not, and Nigerians are barely surviving at this moment, except you live in another clime. Are you also feeling the impact of the high cost of living?
Yes, of course, everybody is feeling it. Same goes for the labor. And if you remember vividly that labor has been in the forefront of this agitations, and we've engaged the government severally on major issues, especially as it affects all citizens of this country. And if you remember vividly that part of our agitations was also part of the new minimum wage, which has just been signed into law by the president. Do you understand? And what we're just looking for was that for the federal government to release the circular for all the states to start domesticating. And it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this kind of situation. And that goes back to the fact that we've been having bad governance in the last decades, and now that we have a new regime in place, the government has been appealing too that they are putting a lot of measures in place to ensure that they put the economic in the right perspective, so that Nigerians can have a sign of relief, and we're waiting for the government in that respect.
So what's the position of Labour generally now, looking beyond Lagos State as regards this August 1st protest?
Yeah, like I told you that the Labour just concluded the negotiation of the new minimum wage, and we're not saying people should not go for protest, and then they have the right, and the constitution of this country also
allows that.
Yeah, and then the onus lies on the government to ensure that they provide adequate security, to ensure that this protest does not snowball into what we end up into, destruction of property and all of that. And then we are also being very careful, because what we experienced during the NSAS protest is not something that was palatable to anybody, and we don't want a repeat of that situation. And then We also need to also appeal to our people, especially those protesters, to ensure that they do that within the confines of the law, to ensure that the protest is not hijacked by hoodlums to the extent that destroying the property, especially when it comes to our common, common assets. And that is also very, very important. And that's in all circles of labor. That's what we've been saying, trying to also appeal to ensure that that protest, if at all is going to hold, will be something that will be within the confines of the law.
But now that we have a new national minimum wage as a law in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is that enough, or is that enough palliative that will cushion the effect of the high cost of living? What do you think the government at different levels should be doing at this particular time?
Yeah, fine. If you, part of the conditions, probably that Labour decided to agree to that 70,000 was that. Labour was agitating for 260. And the president shows the commitment that if he has to do that, meaning that the price of the, what is it called? Petrol will also go up. And then if Labour is just, fighting for itself, then we will say we want to, bent on 260. But because for the generality of Nigerians, that's why we decided that, okay, instead of you inflating more hardship on Nigerians, okay, let's Labour take this 70,000 and let's see how we go from there, and let's see what the government will do to ensure that they change that narrative. And that's why we accepted. Meaning that probably at the end of the day, we'll be able to come out of this economic hardship at the end of the day.
Okay, yeah, I'm still part of coming out of the economic hardship. Initially, when Mr. President took over, during his inauguration, he did say that subsidy is gone, and that's is one of the major reasons responsible for the inflation that we have in the country as we speak today. Food items so expensive, transportation is expensive, and government then did promise the introduction of CNG buses. As we speak, we can barely feel the impact of those buses. How is Labour engaging government to ensure that some of these promises are kept?
Yeah, thank you very much. Part of the promises that government made to us then was that this issue of this CNG buses, and I can say to you, based on what we know, that the government has taken delivery of these buses. And if you look around, major filling station has also started, conversion, gas and all of that. By the time government is ready to, probably distribute these buses. For Lagos State government, and we've seen these buses have been delivered, just remaining the distribution to various sectors of the government. You don't understand, for it to start the distance. And the issue of palliative is there too. If you remember this issue of eco food initiative being carried out by the Ministry of Agriculture, they've just finished the distribution of another phase, meaning that, and this goes to the most vulnerable within the society, within the community, because I was also part of that committee for distribution, and the essence of that committee was to ensure that the distribution did not just go to just the elites, at least for those that required these items were being given to. And that's the commitment the government has made, especially for Lagos State government. And now we're just waiting for the full implementation of this minimum wage for us to be able to now engage our government in the state that, okay, we can start, implementing the new minimum wage in Lagos State. But we're still waiting for the federal government to also release their circular in that respect before we start the implementation here too.
Okay, but from the feelers that you are getting from different parts of the country, from your colleagues on the Labour part, how do you think things is going to pan out on Thursday, if at all people actually decide not to listen to government and go ahead with the protest?
Yeah, for us, like we have mentioned, is that for the government to provide adequate security, if at all this protest is going to hold. And the idea of blocking roads, you can't say because you want to protest and then you also, disturb other citizens of the country that are also going about their normal, businesses. So everything should go in the normal way it's supposed to go, and then we want to charge the security agencies to ensure that they also provide that adequate security for the protesters, to ensure that it does not snowball into a situation whereby they'll be destroying the properties.
Okay, Comrade Balogun, do you think anybody that is hungry will not be hungry? And do you think that the purchasing power of Nigeria is enough to put table on their food as we speak, looking beyond the service now?
Yeah, it's fine. I understand what you're saying, and everything is very, very tight for everybody in this country. And the only thing we can do right now is, do you still want to cause more hardship? What we can do is, let's give the government the benefit of doubt. Like now, the federal government has said is it not by August, the majority of these refineries will start working. We're talking about Port Harcourt refineries, Kaduna, and then the one in Warri too. So if these refineries will start working, and it will go a long way to probably reduce the effect of the hardship that we're facing currently. So my appeal to our fellow colleagues is to probably let's give the government the chance to also, let's give them the benefit of that, and let's see what will happen in the next 3 months. At least with what the government have been saying, 3 months is enough for us to start feeling the changes instead of inflicting more hardship on our fellow citizens. So that would be my take.
Okay, but what else do you think government should do as regards the high cost of food items? What are the strategies that they can introduce to bring the prices of food items down?
Yeah,
because when people cannot feed,
of course,
they have every tendency,
of course, yes, you're right,
to be angry.
Yeah, I think what government can do is to probably, at least the farmers, find a way of empowering them, and then provide enough security. Because of this insecurity, even farmers cannot even go to the farm. If they can be sure of adequate security by the time they go to their farm, do you understand? And then they'll be able to probably plant more and then add to to reduce the effect of this food security we're talking about. And I think the Lagos State government are also coming up with their own ideas. And then for majority through the cooperatives, these agri-cooperatives, find a way to empower them, do you understand, for them to be able to improve their production, to also add to what the government is also doing in such a way that to reduce the effect of the hardship we're facing. And once the issue of food is out of the place, I think other things will start coming down by the time government is also introducing all other measures.
Okay, so we all know that people have been insinuating that there are some political undertone as regards this nationwide protest, which is slated for the 1st of August 2024. Do you think some politicians are trying to truncate or to disturb the present government from achieving some of the goals that it's set for itself?
Well, for me, that would rather be unfortunate. And majority of the protests we do have in our country are mostly politically motivated. If you remember the one that happened during the NSAS protest, to us, there was this kind of fine, the situation was very bad, but at the same time, we saw some level of political interference in it as well. Probably some people are targeting certain individuals, do you understand, to the extent that, and Lagos State was it. Do you understand? The era of destroying public properties and all of that. As for me, if you're protesting, that isn't called for. Do you understand? So, but that is why we're now saying and agitating that the security agencies should provide adequate security so that what happened as at that time won't repeat itself this time around.
But what kind of engagement are you having with the government of the state now? Let's come to Lagos State now. Yeah. What kind of engagement are you having with the state government as regards these 1st of August protests?
Yeah, first of all is the adequate security that I've just spoken about. And then the issue of this palliative where the first set has been, do you understand? I think that is the second set has been distributed, do you understand, to the vulnerables. And also, the government is also engaging, do you understand, the youth through different platforms, different ministries or agencies of the government, talking to them. And I think I'm aware that there's going to be a program here tomorrow whereby it's about empowerment, women empowerment, being sponsored by, I think, WAPA, Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. It's also a platform the government has also been using to also empower people. Do you understand? Especially this small medium enterprise, promoting entrepreneurs as well, and then also assisting them. What they do too, at least one way or the other, they also, employ, some people too, thereby also reducing the rate of employment as well. And we give it to the government. If they can sustain that tempo with passage of time, I think things will start coming down.
All right, you're still watching The Pendulum on Lagos Television. We'll be taking a very short break on the program at this moment. When we come back, our conversation on the proposed nationwide strike slated for the 1st of August will continue.
If you want to protest, why don't you localize it? From your local government, do it. You don't have to come to the center. Every problem is local. So if people of Ajegunle feel that they want to protest, let them stay in their local government. That's all. You don't have to come to any center to do the thing. But for God's sake, this is not the time.
The proposed nationwide strike slated for 1st of August 2024 is our focus tonight on The Pendulum. And I still have in the studio Comrade Rahman Balogun has been telling us so far the need for all of us to show some understanding to the government of the day and appealing that some of the policies of government will start yielding fruits in a couple of months, that we stand to gain nothing in an atmosphere of violence. People often take advantage of our youth anytime there is protest, and of course, they use them as instruments to foment trouble anytime there is rallies or protests. So, for those youth who are watching us right now, like you did say, the country is hard. People are finding it difficult to survive. What would be your message to them?
Yeah, thank you very much. On a weekly basis, I do release a statement, trying to encourage, people, encouraging our youth, especially now that they are home. Majority of them are on vacation now, and we've said to them, they also need to listen to their parents as well. We know that they are right in their own way as well, but at the same time, they should also give the government some kind of opportunity to also address the issue, especially when it comes to inclusion. And nowadays, I think the government is also trying to find a way of, including them in majority of the decisions the government are making. So from there, they will also understand what the issues the government are facing, since they are going to be also part of the decision making. And I also want to appeal to them to just, soft pedal for now, and probably give the government a chance for them to be able to improve on what is on ground presently, and shelve the idea of, protest or whatever. That is my take.
Okay, but what about our officers and men of the Nigerian police force? Because some of them, they are likely to be overzealous anytime there is protest. What will be your message to them as well? Because the atmosphere is tense, so anything can trigger anything, yes, if it is not well managed this time.
Yes, my advice to them is for them to be professional in handling the issue of security this time around. The issue of stray bullet or whatever, we don't even need that for now. You can get rubber bullet or this water, whatever that they can use, instead of, and then they should be professional in the way they address,
The
do you understand,
protesters.
the protesters as well, because that can also, do you understand, ignite what is it called, violence as well. We want to plead with them to be extremely professionals in whatever engagement they're doing, especially at this period. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Raman Balo, Chairman, Association of Senior Civil Servants, Lagos State Chapter, is equally the Chairman, Lagos State Joint Negotiating Council, Trade Union side. Has been giving us his own perspective on the proposed nationwide strike slated for the 1st of August. And of course, just like the government at different levels is also appealing that we need to show some understanding that we stand to lose a lot in an atmosphere of rancor. We can progress as a nation, as a society, in an atmosphere of peace. All we need to do is to show some understanding, and of course we are calling on governments at different levels to also ensure that as people we feel the impact of government the more. That's the show this evening. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. I'll see you some other time on the program. Bye for now.